I think that, like anything, when we're trying to think about what God wants us to do, we have to put ourselves aside and focus on what God wants to use us for. So that could be, any aspect of our identity. So it really just falls under that. It's hard not to get stuck in there because you feel so almost like righteous in getting passionate about racial disparities and all of the very important things that are happening, and kind of push God out of it and just make it about culture and society. So it's important to remember that it really, like everything else, it boils down to what is God's purpose for us? How can we be a vessel for Him? In some ways, I think, for me, being an ally and being an advocate as a white person for people of color, or any other group that is oppressed in this country or this world, is important, and I think God wants me to do that. But if I'm feeling pride for that, or if that's something that takes over instead of God being the most important thing, that's that balance that is kind of always in play.
I think in today's society, race is a huge topic still, and it has been for a long time, and a lot of people still want to sweep it under the rug or pretend it's not happening, but it's there, and it's nice to have the allies with us that try to at least understand what's going on, and I think that's how Christ is. Just everyone, try to understand everyone, from men, women, doesn't matter what color you are. It's important that we look at each other as equals and not as a person, you're black, you're white. I think that's people are trying to do that now, but it's still, we have a long way to go. And as long as we have our allies and we have each other, I think together we can really, make a difference. And people are really trying. We haven't really faced.
We have
much adversity. Not that I've noticed, at least. I'm usually pretty perceptive to, the stares or the comments. But we've been together for over 5 years now, and I haven't noticed any outright, racist or racism acts or anything like that. But we do have children now.
Yeah,
also,
that's what I was thinking. Like, right. So as a biracial family, we have an 8-year-old and an 8-month-old. So Tyrone has had to have a conversation with Taj, who's an 8-year-old biracial boy, already about how to act with the police, and he'll have to talk to him about just, I don't know if you've already had that conversation about how your skin color can affect how people see you sometimes.
Yeah, we didn't get deep into that, but we did with the whole police thing, telling them don't run, just talk to them, and be respectful, but also know that if you need your parents, you ask for your parents, and then you don't say anything else. And I told him that's going to be a continuing conversation even as he gets older, as a teenager, when he starts to drive a car, when he gets his license. This is how you act. This is what you need to do.
Even if your white friends act differently.
Right, yeah. Your white friends may be able to get away with things that you can't. And I need him to understand that. And he was really receptive for an 8-year-old. He was really receptive to what I had to say right now. So that's something we're going to also have to teach our daughter.
Yeah, with Claire, I'm already thinking about how people will make comments about her skin tone and like, oh, she's going to have such a beautiful skin tone with you as her parent. Somebody said to us once. I know. Cringe. But the conversation that I'm working on in my head that I'm going to have with her when she gets older, is just being light-skinned and being biracial. That there are a lot of comments that people are going to make to you, and it's going to make you feel like you might even be better than people on dad's side of the family who have darker skin than you, and that these are just like identity issues that come up when you're in the African American community and have lighter skin. These are things that we need to talk to her about, so she knows that that's not a sense of pride, or it shouldn't be. Just lots of conversations. Her lighter skin and Tasha's lighter skin are going to afford them some privileges that other people and their family may not have, and that I have privileges that even they don't have. And these are conversations that we're talking about having, but we haven't really had yet, if that makes sense. So to bring it back to the question, I think just being open and honest about the conversations we want to have and how to have them, anticipating potential situations that may occur that we need to speak to the kids about. And we're always very open and honest with each other. We talk about race a lot. We talk about culture a lot. I'm a teacher. I talk about what happens in my classroom, and I have tons of different kinds of people in front of me all the time, and the interactions that happen. Sometimes race matters and sometimes it doesn't, but it's always there. An action that we can do to begin to live differently. I think pray is probably the most important one. We've talked about how it's important to lean into discomfort if you know that a topic is going to be difficult. Instead of avoiding that conversation, to just pray about it first and then kind of lean into it and expect that it's going to be difficult, but also that it's important and it's going to matter.